Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Well, we've come to the end of an era of shoddy software and forgotten favorites, as this week, week 300, will be the final day of Shovelware Diggers. At least for now. While our trek through the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2CD collection only reached a little over halfway, what's left is mostly consigned to directories primarily filled with card and board games. Thus, if we were to keep going, there's a very strong possibility the show would get stale and boring. Perhaps the show will make a comeback in the future, with a different shovelware collection for a different platform. But for now, I just want to give a huge thank you to everyone who helped make this show what it was for the past several years by sending in directory selections to help guide where everything went. That said, the next side series for the Pixelmusement channel, No Nostalgia Retro Gaming, will be debuting on Wednesday, May 31st, after a 2-week hiatus from the usual Wednesday videos, so that there's time to prepare all the needed graphics and everything. And the first run of the series will be focusing on Commodore 64 games, a retro computer system I have virtually no experience with. While a number of game nominations for the show have already come in, I want to quickly remind all the Dig Team members that you do not have to have any experience with the C64 to nominate games. And feel free to just track down a list of titles and pick one at random. Just like with Shovelware Diggers, Double Energy is all about discovery, meaning it doesn't just have to be me discovering these old titles, it can be all of you as well. So, because this is the final week of the series, I've gone through the remaining digs selected by the Dig Team and vetted 6 of them. Though I've barely touched these games, just enough to know that they seem to work and look at least mildly interesting. And lastly, for anyone who wants more information on how to nominate games for Double Energy, or vote on the nominations made, simply head on over to the Patreon link in the video description. And now, without further ado, let's begin. First up, from Michael Madsen, we've got WINGAMES /GG/4Season. And here we go, the beginning of the end. So, 4Season, right there. Okay, we got a lot of WAV files, so that means we're going to hear some kind of sound effects. Vendor text, got 3D in there, so it's going to be a little more fancy. Help file, text file, file ID.diz. 4Seasons 1.05 Solitaire for Windows. An addictive, full-featured patience with... Wait, what? An addictive, full-featured patience with multimedia sound. 3-level undo, auto mode, and challenge scoring. Shareware by Randy Raza. Requires VB Run 200 because so many things did. That's kind of a weird sentence, but I guess it sort of makes sense. Also, Solitaire is not capitalized. Okay, guess we don't have too much more, maybe something in the help file. Okay, I've looked through the help file. There's nothing too outrageous going on here. The instructions were, for a solitaire game, a little complex, but nothing too egregious. I think I can figure it out. And it says here the registration's only $10, so that's not bad. And granted, compared to the massive solitaire thing we found recently. But anyways, let's actually play it. Oh. Okay, there was one of those sound effects. Okay, so if I remember the instructions correctly, the goal in this game is we've got to get each of these piles. It picks a random card to start with, so it's going to be 10. And then that means each of these piles has to start at 10 and then loop upwards through the ranks of the cards until it gets around to 9. And then these piles here, they're kind of like the pile in a Klondike game. So you can put cards onto them that rank down. And then this is a waste pile. So basically cards that we draw that we can't figure out anything to do with. And there's the draw pile. That's how I believe the game works, but we're going to find out.
Solitaire.
What? Okay, let's hear that again.
Solitaire.
That was not the way I was expecting a sound effect about solitaire to come across. Oh boy. Well, if that's the case, we've heard 2 sound effects so far, and I think there were 6 of them, so the other ones might be interesting. So if I'm remembering the rules correctly, I think I can move this 6 onto this 7. Yeah, and that frees up space to put another card down if we want to. So, and we have to rank up. But that's a 10 of hearts, which means I think we have to actually put a jack of hearts on there. Yeah, they have to be the same suit. So because 10 is such an important card, we want to try to keep that jack available. Might as well put the 5 there. Can't do anything with the 2 at the moment. 7... Okay, we got a queen. So what we can do is we can put a queen on the king, move a jack down there, and then... Ooh, I don't know about the 9 though. Okay, finally found another 10 card, but it's the 10 of spades. And unfortunately, we don't have... The jacks are... Like, we've got the hearts and the spades ready, but the clubs and the diamonds, we don't. Like, that doesn't help us. Okay, a jack of hearts finally showed up. And I believe it's the queen of hearts under here. It is. But it's a king of diamonds, so that king's not going anywhere. Okay, we found another 10, so it's the 10 of diamonds. So that gets us the jack and the queen. But now we need the king. Oh no, wait, that's the king right there. Okay, but now we need the 2 of diamonds to get, or the ace of diamonds to continue that. I don't think I've seen a single ace yet. Okay, so we actually have a lot of free slots here, so I want to actually consider pulling stuff out of the discard pile here, the trash pile. See if we can actually make some useful progress here. The thing is, the aces are buried under here, because this is the only ace I've seen this entire game. So, that's going to make things tricky. Going to try our best, though. So... yeah, if I pull this 8 off, then I'm not going to be able to pull anything else more. Although that did get us the king. That got us the king, but now we're stuck on the 8 of spades there. Let's hope for an ace of diamonds. That's a 4 of diamonds. Okay, and there's our ace of spades. It gets us 2 of spades, 3 of spades, 4 of spades. And then we've also got the ace of clubs, 2 of clubs. We got the 3 of hearts here. I don't remember if there's anything under there. Now, admittedly, one of the things mentioned in the instructions is that the odds are about 1 in 10 to reach an actual winning conclusion, so I'm not really that surprised that we didn't win this one. But yeah, that was 4 seasons. Fairly basic solitaire game. I was actually able to comprehend the rules for once. Some of these solitaire games have ridiculous rules. But yeah, that's not bad. For a $10 piece of software, if solitaire is your jam, then this was decent. Next up, we have a team dig from Cameron Armstrong and Very Softwares. DOSGAMES /Arcade3 /Surround. I'm gonna guess this doesn't have anything to do with surround sound. Nope. Or maybe not. High score, surround.doc, and surround.exe. And that's a very small exe, so I seriously doubt there's surround sound anywhere in this. But anyways, edit surround.doc. Surround is a simple game in which the goal is to survive for the longest period of time without crashing your wall into another. Oh, okay, Tron light cycles. There we go. Okay, and the controls are AWDX as opposed to AWDS. So hopefully that doesn't screw me up. We'll see how that goes. And we actually have a piece of freeware for once, made by a Bryant Bigby. So let's get out of here and go into the game itself. Surround by Big B Soft. Press the key to continue. Okay. 1 or 2 players. 1? Okay. So we've actually switched into 50 row text mode. Don't see a lot of games using that. So for some reason there's a Bryant Bigby name in the corner there. Apparently 5 men. Or 5 men for both players. So I guess the goal is that we have to survive 5 rounds of this. So press any key. Okay, so we're moving. Wait, who am I? They're both moving the same. Which one is me? Okay, the AWDS thing almost screwed me up there because I was hitting S and I didn't turn until the last moment. I'm pretty sure I'm the one on the right? Oh wait, this is bad. Or no, I'm the one on the left. Okay, this is not going to end well. Did we just tie? I don't think I've ever seen a tie in a Tron Light Cycles thing. Yeah, the men didn't change, so I think that counted as a tie. Okay, it's very weird that the AI is mimicking my every move. Okay, now the AI is doing something different. That is very weird that the AI would even do that at all. Whoops, and I accidentally ran into myself. Okay, so now my men decrease, so yeah, clearly I'm the person on the left. That's actually kind of disorienting, having the AI constantly mimicking me as I... Oh, okay, the AI just screwed itself over. Okay, and the AI is very screwed now, so I just have to wait it out. Yeah, there's no way the AI is surviving this. And down it goes. Or hang on, the AI's men count isn't decreasing. Well, that's not fair. Or I guess maybe when you're playing the one-player mode, the goal is to just survive as long as possible, and maybe that's why the AI's med count isn't decreasing, but, you know. Okay, what? That was weird. I pressed right, then down, so that I would turn around, but apparently it ate my right input. So... Okay, yeah, I can confirm there is no, there's no key anticipation. So if you push two keys too quickly, it doesn't count. So that makes turning around really nasty, because it means you gotta be perfect on it. You can't just buffer the keystrokes. So yeah, because the AI is acting in such a rudimentary way, it's actually kind of easy to manipulate it. Because I just went straight and the AI just went into the little path I made there, and yeah, down it goes. Okay, so that was surround. Oh, it's actually going a little faster now. Seems like it would be a decent two-player game, but for just one player, it's not working perfectly. Like, it's weird that the AI just mimics your moves, and on top of that, the game's not allowing you to buffer your keystrokes. So it just makes it very awkward trying to survive. Next up from Grimjack, we've got WINGAMES /NEWWIN /STV100. I mean, a part of me is secretly hoping for a game based on Star Trek Voyager, but I'm pretty sure Star Trek Voyager debuted after this particular shovelware collection came out, so STV100. So we've got fileid.diz, install doc, stories doc, story.doc, and story. Okay, I guess that makes sense for the ST, but where's the V coming from? Unless it means like V100, V1.00. Let's fileid.diz say. Story Twister version 1.00. Windows 3.1 game by Perplexix Software. Story Twister is the Mad Libs game for Windows. Requires Windows 3.1 or better and a VGA monitor. Question. Why in the world would a Mad Libs game require a VGA monitor? Like, isn't Mad Libs just text? I don't know. Like, I mean, most people running Windows 3.1 are going to have a VGA monitor, so it's not really that big a deal, but still, come on. Also, it just occurred to me that we've got a bunch of doc files and not a single help file, even though this was made with the Borland libraries, as evidenced by the bwcc.dll. I'm confused. I guess maybe we should just read one of these doc files. Well, the one that matches the executable, story.doc. So story twister 1.0. Well, that's a lot of that's a lot of stuff for a Mad Libs game. Holy jeez. Well, this is a way to start your doc file. Look at this preface here. Story Twister is the result of many months of programming. I am very proud of my product, and I wish that no one would hack it in any other way or try to steal it. Changing someone else's program is the lowest thing anyone could do to a person. A single program could take months of hard work to write, and for someone to think they're cool and screw around with it just doesn't seem right, does it? Not only is it immoral, it is also illegal. To the issue of stealing, aka sharing commercial software. All software piracy is stealing from the programmer. When you share commercial software, you aren't... There's a double space here. You aren't only hurting the programmer, you are hurting yourself. Due to a loss of revenues, a programmer could lose their job, and that's one less programmer to develop quality applications. Okay, there are a lot of misnomers in this paragraph. Like, I mean, some of what this person's saying makes sense, but some of it just seems like someone who's got a chip on their shoulder from this something happening earlier, because yikes. And we do have an author name, Jeffrey Carlisle. So hopefully he made it somewhere with his programming and stuff and didn't get completely screwed over by hackers, but what do I know? Also, this program's got a $25 registration fee. For a Mad Libs game. Like, I'm assuming it's a Mad Libs game. That's what the file ID, was it a file? Yeah, that's what the file ID.diz said. So, okay, whatever. Let's go into it. Let's see what this actually is. What am I looking at? Okay. Wait. Back to File Manager. What is going on here? It's like the window. I'm not using high DPI settings or anything. Why does it look like that? And why is this not centered in the window? What? Also, there's a maximize button. I'm going to guess that's not gonna... Yeah, that just affects the back. It's two separate windows. Okay, what is the point of this window when we have this window? Well, I mean, this is just the opening thing, right? So... Okay, so I didn't see a help file, but there's a help button? Choose an option. See story.doc for more help. That is not helpful. Okay, what about setup? Okay, we got path to story files, and then apparently a credits thing, which is, you know, showing our system status, which I get, you know, I've seen this a few times now, and I think every time it's been a Borland program, so maybe Borland software just makes this easier to do than usual. But what does this help button do? See story.doc. Oh, of course. Well, hopefully... Well, that's actually a slash. Or backslash. What if... Can we make this a dot? Because I got a funny feeling if that's a backslash, it's going to make things difficult for us. Yeah, because if it was a backslash, it would have gone all the way back to here. So I'm glad that worked. Okay, so we got the story opener. So open a story file. I don't know, let's do park. Okay, so enter word. Please enter an adjective. Let's do helpful. Please enter a noun. Dog. Please enter a city. Washington. Please enter a noun. Let's do garbage bin. Please enter a color. Let's be okay. I know a color that some people apparently don't. Tyrian. Yes, Tyrian is a shade of purple. Okay, so we've got our nag screen again, I guess. Oh, I just noticed it says support quality software at the top, yet the program so far is not radiating any sort of actual quality. It's like haphazardly put to get things moved out of place. The maximize button is useless because it's for a window that doesn't even do anything because it's not part of the main program windows. Okay, well at least we have our story here, I think. Okay, why is it highlighted? It doesn't need to be highlighted. Okay. One day, Steggy decided to visit the helpful park. This wasn't any park, however. It was Dog Park. The park was in Washington, where the famous garbage bin star Gemini lived. Steggy didn't think about that. He was just interested in ticking on the sloppy paths. Steggy never made it there. He was picked up by aliens from Canada. Did I mention they were illegal aliens? They took him in their spraying saucer made of Tyrian cheese. The aliens put Steggy to sleep, and when he woke up, he was safe at home. It had just been a dream. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Not exactly the best doing this, because here's the thing. the ing word thing here, where it went into he was just interested in ticking on the sloppy paths. Like, that kind of didn't work, right? Just because of the nature of the asking for an ing word without any sort of context. But most of it did seem to follow flow to some degree. I guess we could try one more. Let's do for sale. So please enter an adjective. Let's do crazy. Please enter a color. Let's do... Or, you know, when you're pressed for color names, you just have to think back to the very original Pokemon, because it had a bunch of good ones. So let's do cerulean. That's a shade of blue. Or bluish, green, teal, something like that. Please enter a last name. Mario? Mario is technically a last name, because Mario's, like, from the Mario Brothers, it's Mario and Luigi Mario. It's a last name. Confirmed. Okay, finally reached the end of those words there. Jeez. Okay, so you got our support quality software thing, which isn't very quality. And we've got our story. This one's kind of long, so here we go. For sale, a crazy cerulean Mario Industries paint can. This gross was made right here in Canada. Once you buy this paint can, you'll never fly in another one. Great for meditating on sidewalks. You'll never see how you could be eating without this can. Bothered by driving dogs? Well, a few attenuating with this amazing paint can and you'll never be bothered by them again. Just ask Gemini about this can. Their family never had another problem with their ice skates care chores after buying this can. You may be asking what the insipid of this can is. The answer is, there is none. It just sits on its included cat all of the time. You could pay $5 for a can like this one in stores, but for a limited time only, you can attacking it straight from the manufacturer for only $149.95. Okay, that was Perplexic Software's Story Twister. It's an overpriced Mad Libs game that isn't actually very good. Like, here's the thing. For a Mad Libs thing to work, you need to pick your nouns and adjectives and stuff, like where you replace them very carefully. Otherwise, you're going to get strangely portioned sentences. Like, the whole point of a Mad Libs thing is for the sentences to come across as a bit crazy. But the problem is, it still has to come across as a sentence. If the sentence structure is not correct, then it doesn't come across properly. And that's the problem we're seeing here, is that it doesn't come across properly. So it's like, yeah, it's an overpriced subpar Mad Libs program. That's what we got. Next up from Matthew Belshin, we've got DOSGAMES /arcade3/VShark12. Okay, if memory serves, there's a game called VGA Sharks. And if my memory's correct on this, then that would mean this is a game I haven't played since I was a kid. So, no, it still says V Sharks. There's an Alive software thing. Because I'm assuming that's what alive.doc is going to be. So that, like, as I'm pretty sure VGA Sharks was an Alive software thing. So yeah, I think that's what this is. Let's do edit readme.doc. Welcome to VGA Sharks. Yep, there we go. Wait, mouse support. If you plan to use the mouse driver must be loaded before running VSharks. For best result... Wait, if what I remember about VGA Sharks is correct, how in the world would there be mouse support? Because, yeah, I think this is a game where you're, like, moving around in the ocean from a side view, and it's like arcade controls. So you're trying to dodge the sharks or shoot them or something like that. How does the mouse work for that? It might be interesting. Okay, and alive.doc looks to be just a list of programs here. So Crazy Shuffle, VGA Concentration, Jigsaw Puzzles, Alive Sharks, VGA Sharks, Magic Crayon. And apparently this was $20 to register, so I don't think it's, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think it's that good. But then again, this is old. This is from 1991. Got the vsharks.doc here. VGA Sharks is an underwater action arcade game. You are the frogmen, and your mission is to collect and study rare marine creatures from the bottom of the sea, while avoiding your dreadful foes. Well, it is not going to be easy. Of course, you are armed with your trusty stun gun that tranquilizes your enemies for a while, and you can always retreat into your electrosonic base that repels the sharks, the raybats, and the rest of your rivals. I'm not sure a stun gun is standard issue when dealing with sharks, but... Okay, let's just try running it, since I have a vague idea of what this is. So, vsharks helps if I spell it correct. Graphics? Oh, that was VGA. What's it? Oh. Okay. So yeah, it looks like the game supports specific VGA chipsets. Like, not SVGA, just VGA. So I'm guessing this is just in terms of extra performance, because it could take advantage of certain things about those chipsets, but no, we're just going to go with standard VGA. Sound on, point with mouse, start game. Okay, so while that PC speaker music is going on, apparently made by Bill Deeds, which I believe that's the person who does Alive Software. And okay, that was weird. It kind of like showed the sprite sheet for a moment. Wasn't expecting that. Oh, you know, it just occurred to me. Given that the game asks you to put in like asks you like what specific VGA card you're using, if the game is doing direct video to video copying, like if it's using video memory to buffer the stuff that it's drawing on screen to make it go faster, then what we just saw was loading that into the VGA memory and then swapping the visual page so that all that stuff is hidden off screen. Because again, you can set up more, the VGA cards have more memory than they need to show a 320 by 200 screen with 256 colors. So that's probably what it was doing, just getting all the graphics ready in an off-screen buffer in video memory so that it could do everything nice and quick. Okay, so I guess we should press a mouse button and try to play this thing. Okay, so whoa. These are controls. Yeah, you... Okay, the controls. With the mouse, you just very slightly move the mouse in the direction you want to move in. And then you move in that direction constantly. Okay, and do we have our stun gun? Yep, we have a stun gun. So we'll grab a little marine creature here. Ah! Stop biting me. I mean, it's interesting. It says bite down at the bottom. It goes up when I get hit. Makes me wonder... Yeah, it's making me wonder how many bites I can actually survive. Be nice to actually stun one of these sharks. It's really hard to use the stun gun though, because you can only have like one shot in the air at a time. Yeah, so it seems like in this first level here, where is it? Because yeah, as I'm moving around here, it looks like I'm slightly faster than the sharks. Not a huge amount faster, but slightly faster. So as long as I'm ahead of a shark, I can stay ahead of it. Yeah, see? I'm slightly faster than the sharks. Okay, like, I mean, I know the goal of the level is to collect these little sea creatures, but I don't actually know, like, how many I need to get before it moves on, or if it's score-based, or if the levels are actually consequential. Like, maybe it's just like Tetris, where different levels just mean the sharks move faster or something. Okay, so the level just went up to 2. And now there's 4 sharks. Okay. I also just noticed that it's 1 point to stun the sharks, but 10 points to bring the sea creatures back. So I mean, if you wanted to be like vengeful or something, you could just go for stunning the sharks to beat the levels, but Seems to me like that would be a very inefficient way to make points. Okay, this should get us to level 3, and it does. So you advance a level for every 100 points. And now we still have 4 sharks. Maybe they're faster now, though. So yeah, this is pretty much plain as I expected it to. Like, I mean, it's save for the fact that the controls are very, the mouse controls are very weird. Let's put it that way. So yeah, that was VGA Sharks. I guess because we're about to stop, I should probably see just how many bites it takes to die. So let's go for the sharks. Come on, eat me, sharks. Eat me! Jeez, this diver's really resilient to sharks. I've been 31 times and I'm still alive. 40 times, how many more? Can we get to 50? No, we actually can't get to 50. Okay, yeah, 50 is too many bites. End of game. That's kind of like how I feel about a lot of this stuff, actually. So yeah, VGA Sharks, very old game, plays fairly okay. I mean, I was playing it with the mouse. It clearly was made more so for keyboard controls, but, you know, it works. It was a very simple game for its time. Very expensive for its time as well. Like, well, I mean, consider that this game was made in 1990. I think the version we have here was released in 91. But still, like, I mean, that means that it had competition, better games competing against it, but those better games really did cost a lot more money than $20. So I guess if you wanted something simple, then this fits the bill, but 20 does still seem like a lot for what this is. Next up, we have another team dig from Zed Supremus and Christian Topnik. WINGAMES /comp/WINWAR. Okay, I know we're 300 weeks into the show, and kind of ending it in a moment after this game and one more following, but it just occurred to me that comp probably stands for competitive. And I've gone this entire time just saying comp. Oh well. Anyways, WINWAR, where is it? Okay, way at the bottom here. So, more WAV files, so we might have some sound effects. We got a register, help, and text. Well, let's check out the text file. This is not what I was expecting out of a text file. Like, I mean, it's text. It got at least that much right, but this doesn't look like... What? This is just a bunch of numbers and locations. Yeah, what is this doing in a text file? This is like data for the game. Okay, maybe like the help file? Okay, WINWAR 2.0. And we got credits here, apparently made by... Oh, wow. Okay, so these are the beta testers. Wait. Why is the credits only showing the beta testers and a special thanks? Like, shouldn't the person who made the game actually be taking credit for it? Maybe they will when we actually run the program. Overview. WINWAR 2 2.0 is a simulation of World War II. Not a small task, to be sure. Each player plays the part of one of the 7 major powers of the Great War: the United Kingdom, United States, Russia, and France on the side of the Allies, and Germany, Italy, and Japan on the side of the Axis. The objective of WINWAR 2 2.0 is to conquer enemy capitals. Victory will be awarded to the side that captures 3 enemy capitals. Okay, so this is sounding like it's going to be like one of those grand strategy games, like the ones that go across a huge amount of stuff. Probably going to be turn-based, because this almost sounds like it would have been inspired by those board games that are like those multi-nation conquering type games. Yeah, because we got stuff in here about like territories, resources, and factories. We got unit types, apparently a lot of unit types here. Okay, there wasn't really too much in the help file other than like basic game instructions. What's this register form say? Silicon Commander order form? I guess Silicon Commander is the name of the company that made this. Oh wait, hello. Solar Vengeance. That's a game I believe I know something about. Although I frequently get Solar Vengeance confused with another one that I once played. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I recognize that one at least. So, be interesting to see how well this plays by comparison. And yeah, it says $25 here, although also quarterly demo diskette offer for $5 per 1 quarter. So every quarter you want this disc costs you $5. Contains demo versions of new Silicon Commander games. A new demo diskette is available each quarter. That's kinda not very reassuring when you consider there's only 3 games available. But yeah, apparently this game is $25 and made by Silicon Commander Games, and I'm not seeing any further information on who this might have been made by. But anyways, let's actually start playing it. So, WINWAR 2. And you know, the funny thing is, this one's actually copyright 1995, so this would have been one of the last games to come out before this entire Shareware collection was put together. But anyways, so, okay. Oh, geez. Okay, we're starting off strong with a picture of a destroyer just firing the heck out of its guns. That or it's flaming. Okay, well, we don't have a lot of options here, so begin a new game. Okay, so we got the allies at the top, axes at the bottom. And it seems that in this demo version, we're only allowed to play as the allies. So I guess that kind of makes sense. Sort of. But, so it's immediately put us as the United States, so I guess we'll leave it that way. Friendly units always visible, enemy units always visible. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Increase industrial multiples to make computer opponents more challenging. Huh. Okay. So basically this is just setting how much industry each of the different countries gets. Okay, okay, I don't know a ton about World War II, but was France really, like, the one making most of the stuff in the war? Because that's the impression I'm getting from this. Okay, so looks like it's doing some stuff there, waiting for the United States. Okay, so we've got, I guess this is just basic stuff that's happened for the turn. 32 resources in stock, 62 produced, and 30 consumed. Apparently you can also blockade resources and bomb them. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, this is a screen. So, oh, this scrolls too. Whoa. Not only does it scrolls as you're scrolling it. Yeah, I know this might come as a surprise to some people who are not used to using older versions of Windows, but originally, when you clicked and dragged on one of these scroll icons to scroll a scroll bar, the stuff wouldn't move with it. You would see a shadow of where you're going to move it to, and then things would update after you released it. But this is actually moving it as you're moving it, which is very uncommon for Windows 3.1 software. Also, yikes, there are a lot of territories and stuff going on here. Holy jeez. Okay, so I seriously doubt I'm going to be able to play much of this game, but this is pretty impressive, all things considered. Like, we got, well, the about's probably, yeah, it's just going to be another about screen like this. We still don't have a name for the author of the game. We just know it's Silicon Commander Games. So yeah, there's options for sound, allow drag movement, I guess. We can improve things, so industrial multiple or tech levels. Interesting. So tech levels represent the combat effectiveness of combat units. Each of the 3 categories of units, land, air, and sea, may be improved independently. Okay, so if you have resource points, you can spend them on these to make these better overall, as opposed to just building more of them. You can view production, which that's just that screen. Casualties, apparently none yet. Well, it's the first turn. Score gallery. Looks like top scores for playing the game, so yeah, probably not going to be anything there yet. And yeah, when we click on one of these areas here, we can see like all the stats for it and everything. And we can also see what's stashed there. Like this particular one here, Washington, D.C., we've got like a couple battleships, a bomber, a couple carriers, 5 destroyers, 2 dive bombers, 2 fighters, 2 heavy cruisers, 4 infantry. Wait, just 4 infantry? I guess maybe like 4 full platoons or something? Then we got 3 light cruisers, 3 submarines, and 2 transports. So Washington's freaking loaded. Okay, so what do the rest of these buttons do? We got factory. Building a factory would cost 13 resources. Wait, don't we already have a factory, though? Yeah, I think that symbol would probably indicate that there's a factory there, right? Okay, so we also have a units button. Okay, so units is how you build units. So I guess you could build additional factories, and that probably, like, speeds things up or something. Or it says here factory limit 12, so it probably increases your limit on how much stuff you can build. Okay. And yeah, this at the side is indicating the cost of everything. So naturally, the carrier is going to be the most expensive. And it looks like infantry is the least expensive. Although I find it interesting that the destroyers happen to be... Oh no, wait, that kind of makes sense. Because now that I'm thinking about it, destroyers are a fairly small vessel compared to something like a cruiser or a carrier. Oh, actually, I just noticed here we've got these numbers here. So the value is 8. What does that mean? I guess maybe that just means like the value in terms of how much resource production is done. Maybe. We got 4 AA guns in place, 12 factories in place, and haven't built anything yet. Okay, so it's actually a little weird how this works. So you're effectively seeing a stack of units at a time. And so what you're doing is you're actually moving, you've got your movement controls here. They look grayed out, but this means that they're actually functioning. So like, I mean, this infantry here, infantry doesn't do us any good on land, so we'd want to move it here so that it joins up with this group here, right? Because it's showing that these infantry are now part of this unit, or this stack as the game calls it. But I've already moved it, like I moved it here, so I'm not entirely certain why I wasn't allowed to move it like over this way. There's probably a reason. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to this game, so I don't think I'm really going to be able to showcase much of it. But yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot to this, and it seems like it's done fairly well. Like, it is taking me a little to wrap my head around these unit movement mechanics, but I almost feel like I've seen something like that before, where when you move multiple units on top of each other, they become one group, and then you have to split that group up before you can continue moving different parts of it. So that kind of makes sense to me, but I'm not... It's a strategy game with turn-based stuff, and as I've explained before, I am terrible at strategy games. Also, I have no idea why there's a 3 in the corner here. Let's just put it this way, with me at the helm, the Allies are never going to win World War II. So I better quit while I'm ahead, or while everyone else is ahead. But yeah, WinWar 2.0, it looks fairly complex and competent for a strategy game in Windows 3.1. So and let's leave it at that. And our final dig for Shovelware Diggers from IS4 DOSGAMES /arcade2 /mock03. Okay, so this one's kinda special. So here's the thing. This game here, let's do a dir/w, because there's a lot of files here. Or wait, there's only 22? Well, I mean, that's still more than the screen can show, but just barely. But anyways, okay, so this particular game right here, you see the executable there, Mach 3. This is something that I've known has been on this Shareware CD since forever. This is one of the games I tried to play when I was a kid. It would go to the title screen and then just freeze. Just freeze on the title screen. The thing is, though, that was back when I was trying to play these games on legitimate computers, like on an actual Windows 95 or 98 system in DOS mode or whatever, right? So, and that system at the time had a Pentium 120 in it, so it was pretty fast. But here we are in DOSBox, where I have total control over cycles counts. The compatibility is generally better for older software, especially given these file dates than the, like, 87 seems to be the right point in time for everything, because it's certainly not 1980 and it's certainly not 2107. So the thing is, I knew that this game was going to come up sooner or later, because, you know, it's been selected by someone in the dig team, And then I tested it just now, just on the off chance it worked in DOSBox, and it does, and it is glorious. So we're going to experience this together, because I only let it run for like a minute before I was like, this is definitely being the last game. And here we are, Mach 3.
Get ready for Mach 3.
And something I feel I need to point out about that theme song there, that's clear. Oh, it's actually doing it again. But yeah, something I need to point out about that song there is that this is clearly being done with the PC speaker, and that's probably why this thing froze up solid on my Pentium computer, because this probably needed to do very specific timing, especially for how clear it sounds. But then that could just be a DOSBox thing. A real PC speaker, this might have sounded like garbage. But anyways, let's actually play this. I just have to remember how to start it.
Get ready.
And here we go. This is basically a game that plays like Space Harrier with CGA colors. Yeah, I took a look at this for barely a minute before I realized I needed to show you guys this game. Now the thing is that ultimately this does seem pretty simple in terms of what it does. Like, we can move around, we have a gun that we can shoot with the spacebar. I don't think there's any other controls. And a lot of the stuff on the ground is inconsequential, but some of it are actually like landmines that you don't want to touch. And other than that, like... Oh, we got some gates. Can we go through the gates? Yeah, we can... Oh, we can actually hit the gates. Okay, never mind. But yeah, this is clearly wares of some kind. So this was definitely commercial software. And shouldn't have ended up on this Shareware CD. And I just died. Okay then. But as we've noticed before with this particular Softkey collection, and it's something that I might as well just say once more for the record, this Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games collection had 2 releases, and I have the original release. And the original release ended up with a whole bunch of wares on it, because the people skimming the different BBSs for software clearly didn't do it. Whoa. Okay, am I being attacked from behind? Okay, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, the people loading software from different BBSs clearly didn't do their due diligence to make sure that the software they were getting came from legitimate sources. And as such, a lot of the software in my version of the collection just shouldn't be here because it's commercial software. The second release of the Softkey Shareware collection had all the wares stripped out of it for obvious reasons. So, wow, this game's actually getting harder. So yeah, when you go searching online, I believe the version of the collection you find on like archive.org or something is like the second version of the collection. But I have the first one, and it has these wares on it, and this is kind of... Aw, dang it, I wanted to go into the tunnel. And yeah, that's kind of indicative of the kind of software we have here, is that some of it shouldn't be here, and this is one of them. And this is like what happens when these different companies who are in it just for the money to sell software that, like, it's supposed to be free software, but they're selling it. Like, the entire concept of the Shareware Okay, it looks like I died.
Oh boy.
Oh, well, I guess the game is really happy about the high score I made. Oh, wait, what the heck? So I just started a new game, and all of a sudden we're in the other CGA palette? Why? It started as the cyan magenta palette, but we suddenly went to the red yellow palette. Like, the whole concept of Shareware distributors taking free software, or the free versions of paid software, putting them on discs and selling those discs, where it's like virtually no cost to them to put it all together. Like, there were a lot of shareware distributors, like a lot of them. And the thing is, most of them didn't stick around very long, because guess what? People didn't want to pay for non-complete software, for the most part. Like, it definitely worked a lot better before the internet was really a thing. And BBSs, even back then, like, not a lot of people knew how to dial into BBSs or didn't even have modems. The point I'm getting at here is that the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games collection that we've been going through is an outlier. It's one of those collections that was hastily put together with way too many games, and some of them aren't even games at all. It's like pieces of software that barely function, or just little icons in the corner or something. But the point is that the way it was an outlier is by just surviving. Like, the Softkey company was one of those companies that started up as just like something that someone was doing in their basement. And then it actually managed to get traction and become a big deal. So this was the way they made money early on, was through this kind of hastily put together things, but they survived despite that. And as a result of that, we have... Man, I'm never gonna get into those tunnels. We had this shareware collection that we've been going through for 300 weeks of videos, and we've seen a lot of games, and we're back to Cyan Magenta again. It's definitely been fun going through all of this, but at the same time, I am kind of glad to be moving on to other kinds of software, because we've seen so much here, and some of the stuff we've seen would be nice to show in an actual Ancient DOSGAMES video someday. And maybe we will see some of these games like that. But this seemed like a good one to end on, just because it represented this collection that we've been going through to such a good degree, and because it was one that I tried to play back when I had this collection as a kid, and I wasn't able to. So, there you go. Mach 3. It's Wares. It shouldn't be here, and it plays like Space Harrier. There you go.